Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. One of the fights that I would regard as a gimmick fight, and one of the fights that I really hate the idea of, is Canelo Alvarez against Bud Crawford. And it looks like we're going to get it because Turkey Al Sheikh, as much as I kind of like the guy, I think he's an excitable little fella. And he's definitely, at the moment, doing a lot of good for boxing. The fights are getting made and so on. But I don't want to see Bud Crawford, a former lightweight, going in with a huge 168-pounder, a big barrel of a man, in Canelo Alvarez. I think it's a stupid matchup, and I think there are weight divisions for a reason, as they say. But it looks like we're going to get it because Mike Coppinger of ESPN has said it's going to happen. It's going to happen in September, Mexican Independence Day weekend. The contracts have not been signed, but the money's been, details have been finalised. Crawford said all along it would take place at 168 with no rehydration clause, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to be at 168. It is not a catchweight. Well, I call it a catchweight contest. In fact, it's not. It's a catchweight contest in the sense that you've got a guy who has only just moved up to 154 and will be jumping up another two weight divisions. But to call it a super fight or anything like that, that's just so stupid. I really don't like it at all. But because all you're doing is you're going to see a great fighter in Terence Crawford. Tested himself against someone who's so much bigger and is, despite his age, they're both quite advanced in age now. Crawford's older than Canelo. Okay, if he puts up a good performance against a guy who probably will enter the ring around 185, maybe 180, if he's able to hang on in there and, with all of his skills of course are tremendous. Not that Canelo's are bad. Canelo has his own terrific skills. Crawford can, if he goes the distance and he loses a decision, is it like Roberto Duran messing Marvin Hagler around? Hagler won that fight, but Duran made it very, very difficult for him. And you could argue that, Duran's stock rose with that very fine performance against an all-time great middleweight. Is that what Crawford is hoping to do? Crawford probably thinks he can beat Canelo, but I make this a heavy favourite in Canelo. And if Canelo wins, let's say he blows out Crawford in 4 or 5 rounds, is that going to increase his legacy, beating such a small guy? And if he beats Crawford on points, I think it'll be kind of maybe not a black mark, but a question mark over him. You went the distance with a guy who was, in that terms of natural weight, probably 25 pounds below you. People say, yeah, but Canelo started off, he spent years at 154 and he was a huge 154 pounder. Don't forget, he turned pro at 15. He is very much a solid tank-like barrel of a 168 pounder. Canelo, and it's a video for another time, but how he has structured his body, bearing in mind he's failed a drugs test before, I'm very, very suspicious of him. I always have been, to be honest, of Canelo. I just don't fancy Crawford's chances in this fight at all. Now, if this fight's going to take place in Mexican Independence weekend, which is in September, then what about Cinco de Mayo, May the 5th? Because Canelo normally fights either on May the 5th or very close to it. And I don't know about this. I just don't know about this. I think probably Canelo will fight. Will fight then as well. Now, would he have a little run around against a lesser opponent, against, say, William Skull, for example, who, German IBF titleist? Yeah, that would be a decent matchup. But it wouldn't surprise me if they put Crawford on the bill as well. So they sort of mix and match. We can have a look at them both. And I think Crawford would need that. He would need that fight. He would need a fight before then, say in May, for example. Because quite simply, let's think about it. He fought Madrimov at 154, and he struggled a little bit with Madrimov. Madrimov is underrated. He's a very good 154-pound fighter. But Israel Madrimov perhaps lacked a bit of experience to beat Bud. I think Bud, in a sense, old-manned him a little bit. But he didn't look great at 154. And that's his only fight since he beat up Errol Spence in, what was it, July? I want to say July 2023. So if he doesn't fight between now and whenever he fights Canelo, that's one fight in over 2 years. That's no preparation to fight Canelo. This whole thing seems to me like a load of crap, really, to be honest with you. I mean, you may disagree, but I don't like this fight at all. I really don't. I want to see them both fight. They're mandatories, and I want to see Bud go down a different route if he wants to carry on. I mean, he's pretty much completed boxing just like Usyk has, but why not have him fight the other 154-pound champs? Why not try and unify there? Why jump up two weight divisions? It just seems really silly to me. Yeah. Anyway, what do you think? What do you think of this? Maybe you like the fight. They're two massive names, of course. But this is the side of Turkey I don't like. Turkey Al-Sheikh. Yeah, I like the guy. I think he's an excitable little fella. He seems to genuinely love boxing. But he's done us all a massive favour with putting the money up for these fights. But I don't like this fight at all. And this is the side of him that gets me, because he seems to have some funny ideas, Turkey. Not all his ideas are great, even though he genuinely loves boxing. I think there is such a thing as getting carried away, and sometimes Turkey Al-Sheikh does that. But hey, there's far more good than bad with the guy, of course. But anyway, let me know what you think. Comments below, and just tell me what you think. What's your opinion? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? If you disagree with me, tell me why. No problem. Thanks very much for your time, as always. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the like button, because it's free, and you're a lovely person and you want to spread the love. Why not? Hey, does us a favour. They count the likes. Don't know why, but they do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much. Bye for now.